What's up, guys? I mean, a lot of questions about tire heights and stuff like that. 30 Zillas on the bike. I'm being as level as I can. Just over 29 and a half inches, which is really good for an on the bike measurement for a 30. That's at 6 psi. Also, look how soft these things are at 6 psi. See the carcass flexing right there? I mean, that's just like as soft a tire as you can get. I mean, one finger you can push in. Super soft, even at 6 psi, flexing really well. These are 31-inch Outlaws, and as you can see, they're about 30, and if you look at right across the other knob, probably like 30 and 3/8. That's on the bike, and that's at 2 psi, because that's what I run on the 300, because that's how, see how soft it is? It's about the softest, same flexness as the front tire. So to get an Outlaw to flex as good as the Zilla, you've got to run 2 psi in it. And if I'm in some really deep mud where I'm floating a lot, I'll put 0 psi in both of these because I have double bead locks. But yeah, so they both measure pretty true, and you really shouldn't measure tires on the bike. You should measure them on the ground. And the way Highlifter does it is they wrap a string around it, and then they divide by pi, right? Because that way you take into account the gaps between the knobbies and everything. These are my 8x18 BKTs, and you can see they're on the bike, which is sitting in dirt, so it's probably sunken in the ground a little bit, but just shy of 33 inches, and the front of this bike has 16 psi in it. The back, not even really worth measuring because it's also sunk into the dirt, but just to give you a relative thing, these are closer to 33 because the backs have 20 psi. If you read the manual for the Razor, put more air pressure in the back because that's where the engine is. Also, putting more air pressure in the back means less contact patch in the back, better donuts. And these tires, obviously at 16 psi, don't flex hardly at all, but the weight of the Razor, in fact their V-treads, means that they clean out no matter what anyways, and the power it has, so not a big deal. Don't really have any other big tires mounted right now to show you. These are supposed to be 26s. As you can see, they're measuring a little tall, probably like 26 and a half. But they're on a skinnier rim than they're designed for, and they're at 20 psi. So I got a lot of air in them. So again, smaller contact patch, easier donuts on the little Ace. But yeah, so there's some tire stuff. Tires that run true are generally Outlaws. Terminators and Silverbacks lie like crazy. If you want to see something funny, go measure the height of a 30-inch skinny Silverback on a Can-Am. They're about 28s, and they're junk. But most of the Outlaws run true. Outlaw 2s run very true, but they're that harder rubber compound that doesn't flex as well, and they're a little heavier because Outlaw 2s are more intended for a side-by-side. Like generally a 28-inch Outlaw 2 will sit about as high as a 29.5 Outlaw 1 at the same tire pressure, and a 29.5 Outlaw 2 will sit about the same height as a 31 at the same tire pressure. Generally speaking, there's actually a pretty good variance between Outlaw tires, depending on the batch, depending how much air's been running them over their life, if they've been left in the sun. So, yeah, it's hard to say exactly. And also weights. I've had tires come in weighing a few pounds different from another tire in the same shipment. But the Zillas are amazing. 25.6 pounds on average. All the ones I bought several sets of skinny 30 Zillas. The back Outlaws, people say that the Maxxis is a little lighter. These are the V rubber, the second gen, like not OG in other words. I found that it just goes up and down depending on which ones you get. One of these weighs 39.5, one of them weighs almost 41. I don't know how that happens, but I guess it just happens when you have a bunch of tread on a tire. These BKTs, the 8x18s, are 35 pounds a piece, which is just amazing. However, these steel wheels, being that the centers are huge and very thick, weigh 30 pounds a piece. So those wheels are about twice as heavy as your average 14-inch ATV wheel, so I'm getting penalized there. But the weight that matters the most is the weight of the circumference of the tire because of rotational inertia, those little equations. So having a heavy rim is not as bad as having a heavy tire as far as acceleration and stuff goes. But as far as the overall weight of the bike is concerned, yeah, it's irrelevant. But people ask me all the time looking for a light tire. Well, Zillas. I've bought 3 sets of them for a reason, or maybe 4. I think 4 sets. And you want a medium lightweight tire, 31-inch Outlaws. I don't even know. I probably bought 6 sets of those. At least 6 pairs of skinnies. I don't know how many wides, but a lot of 31s. And I replace them frequently because I like to have my tires as fresh and square as they get. If they get any more wear than this, I replace them. But yeah, tires are good.